Yo, 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 everyday superpower where we talk body language, relationships, game, everything in between. Sour grapes today, people. I got something to talk about. It's a little tidbit of life, a little tidbit of relationship game and the socialization of the woman. Women are very social beings, at least in relation to the men. Generally speaking, in the Western world, a hundredfold comparative to where you might get in some more modest, you know, religious rooted spaces. She gets dressed up to leave the house. Should I be offended? Why does she want to look so good? I ask her, who are you trying to show off to? Who are you trying to impress? And she responds to me, oh, shut up. You know I've only got eyes for you. We don't put makeup on to please men, you know. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. And if your lady is a social butterfly, you're going to have to suck it up, mate, because that's the lady you got in a relationship with. That is the lady you're going to have to deal with because you can't change her. I mean, maybe over time as she finds comfort in the relationship, she settles down a little bit and she does, separate from the lifestyle that once was. But you can't come into an overweight girl's life and start asking her to lose weight. You can't come into a flirtatious girl's life and stop her being flirtatious. You can't come into a tattooed girl's life and ask her to not get any more tattoos, right? It's a component of her character. Hey, and we don't hate on that, right? We must take ownership over our own actions. And if we, put the blinkers on and don't have any foresight or believe we can change the people we get in a relationship with, need to have a reality check, in all honesty. So she goes on a night out with her friends. Maybe she does it every weekend, right? I mean, you should be trying to find some time to do something with her at the weekend as opposed to her going out with her friends all the time. But I guess each to their own. Everyone's got their own relationship. Everyone respects their own personal space, personal time, and time with friends and whatnot. But you're not going out with her, and hell, even if you were going out with her, the point still stands. What I'm going to talk about. She applies makeup. She puts a nice dress on. You tell me how much skin she's showcasing to the world, right? But she tells you it's not for other men. Now let's talk about that. Because consciously, rationally, logically, she might apply it in a sense that she is just one of the girls. And she applies it, because everyone else is wearing makeup. I don't really want to look grotesque. Not that her not wearing makeup would have her look grotesque, but in relation to the peacocking women around her, she doesn't want to be a mutant of sorts within the mix. This is called competition anxiety, and this can actually be weaponized and utilized, given that you understand it, to be better at dating, be better in romance. You need to understand this component of female psychology because females don't even understand this. And there was a test done as to where, without them knowing, so many women went to a hairdresser, a hairstylist, and the woman hairstylist would recommend that the more beautiful women would cut their hair shorter, right? As a means of sabotaging the competition to alleviate the women who looked good and were a potential threat of their feminine value and that which accentuated their femininity and highlighted their femininity. The hairstylist would recommend worse haircuts and shorter hairstyles for these prettier women, or how they were deemed prettier, down to the fact that these women are in competition with each other. Now, this is where I go to tier 3 of what I'm expressing here, to get to the real reason she's applying makeup, the real reason why she's looking good. She says it's for her own sake, right? Maybe it is for her own sake. She feels anxious in competition with these women. Now you have to ask, what are they in competition for? And it's for attention, as attention is a currency within the feminine realm, a very, very, very valuable one. And if we don't get, as women, if we don't get attention from the opposite sex, we don't exist. We place our physicality, our physical attractiveness, our physical attraction on a very high tier, right? Because that's what we do to lure men in. That's what we do to garner resources and find a man who has something to give to us, to ensure that our children and us live a prosperous, fulfilling and healthy life from here on in, right? It's biology. We don't go forth and advertise our job and advertise this, that and the third, because we're not looking for a man who cares about how much we earn, because they should be earning a surplus above and beyond what we do, right? I mean, there's exceptions to the rule, most definitely, but the bottom line is, a woman looks for resources within a man first and foremost, to varying degrees, whereas the man looks at physical beauty for the woman first and foremost. He looks at signs of fertility, i.e. beauty, youth, femininity. She looks at signs of status, dominance, intelligence, and so on and so forth, that all link to the garnering of resources. Yes, makes sense. So she goes out there on a weekend to these nightclubs. She spends all this time and effort. Yes, the bottom line is to please men. And you have to accept this, because this is where I come into a little bit of a dispute with the general red pill community or red pill content creators, because now most of them will weaponize that and utilize that to rile up the audience and to express this red pill rage of, oh, women are horrible and women are deceitful and women are this, that and the third, right? And all the audience, given that men who are looking for dating advice, romance advice, the general market might be people who aren't very good with women for whatever purpose. And when they find that these content creators are raising the mirror up to the women that they, or should I say raising the mirror up to these incels, where they see their own beliefs and values reflected at them, they feel acknowledged, seen. So you'll find these red pill creators and channels and so forth that highlight how bad women are and strategically select particular types of women to showcase the behavior of. They are the most successful because the market and the crowd are men who want to find a reason to hate on these women who never gave them a chance. And they're not good quality women. But when it comes to this, these ladies who go out to the nightclubs and apply the makeup and doll themselves up for the attention of other men, you just have to suck that up. That's always going to be in a woman's biology. Like she could be working at a library and God-fearing woman, and hey, she could be a Muslim. She might wear the hijabi and all this, that, and the third. It doesn't stop the foundational hardwiring that resides within her. That is a metal detector to detect the source of resource that will ensure I live a quality life. Now, don't get me wrong, there will be principles and boundaries that might be set in different cultures and communities that make things a little bit harder, right? But that doesn't stop the fact that this protocol still resides within the unconscious of these creatures, and you should accept it, acknowledge it. And when she goes out looking that way, it's not in your best interest to say, oh, are you trying to oppress anyone, or are you trying to blah blah blah, because she's going to look at you and she's going to be very well aware, even on an unconscious basis, that it makes you insecure. And that's not a good look to have. You just have to soak it up, think this is the woman I got in a relationship with. The fact that I don't care is in my favor. She sees that, she identifies that, she perceives me as someone who is valuable purely because I can take her or leave her. If she decides to misbehave, hey, I will move on. I will continue doing my thing, you know? That's what she wants in a man. And that man she meets on the night out who's got a nice Rolex on his wrist, right, that you can't afford, it doesn't matter, because you're going to see him, she's going to see the material value, and then maybe if there's any degree of engagement between them, she will see a showcase of behavior, character, personality that doesn't align with the same caliber as yours. Because she'll think back to you being okay with her being out there, not being insecure about what she does and where she goes and so forth. So that's the best circumstance about it. Me personally, I'm a very introverted person, so like the idea of, you know, being so involved with such an extroverted individual who engages with so many people, that's the idea of that's stressful for me. Not stressful through the realms of insecurity, but stressful just like I don't want noise in my life, you know. I like quiet, I like peace. So you know, I wouldn't do that. If she's going out on a weekend, it's with me, that's it, plain and simple. She's seeing her friends, yeah, she can go see her friends, but I don't want her to be a social butterfly going and making new friends each and every day as a grown woman. That's too much. But this isn't about my personal opinion, people. This is about the way this shit is, right? That was some game. That's some food for thought at the very least. Click like and subscribe on that one. Peace.